Hey guys, so today I'm doing a video that a lot of people have requested actually. It's my pregnancy experience. I found out I was pregnant a couple days before New Year's. I got morning sickness. I had it so bad where I could not eat anything. I had to get medicine for it. They gave me Zofran. Let's see, after that I had to have about 4 ultrasounds my whole pregnancy, which normally I think you only get 1, maybe 2, but I've had to have 4 because they kept telling me that something could or could not be wrong with my son. And I was like, well, could you tell me, what do you think is wrong with my son? And they're like, no, we can't, because if something is not wrong with him when you give birth to him, then that comes down on us and it makes us look bad that we gave you some wrong information. I was like, okay, so let's make me think there could be something wrong with my son, and my son could possibly be born a stillborn. Luckily my son was born healthy. On my 4th ultrasound, I asked my ultrasound technician, what do you think is wrong with my son? And she said, well, you're going to have to ask your doctor that. I said, okay, well, I've asked my doctor every time I've had to have an ultrasound. And she just says, oh, well, we don't know, and we're not for sure, and we want to be able to give you a for sure answer. I was like, so can you give me a for sure answer? To me, it felt like she knew where I was coming from, wanting to know answers. So she said, off the records, what was wrong, or what they think is wrong, is that they could see the tubes that go from your kidneys to your bladder. I think that's where they go. They could see them very good. They were very, like, boom, there. And I was like, okay, so what does that mean? And she said, well, it could be that because you got so small, because I really did. I got really small when I was pregnant. I did not get that big. I will insert a picture right here. She said because I was so small with him, that could be why, so they could see everything better. Or it could just mean that something is actually wrong with his kidneys. So I was like, okay, well, thank you. And she goes, well, remember, that's off the record because I could lose my job. All over experience, I did not like Allegiance Hospital. I went in to give birth to my son August 27th, 2014. They were pretty good before having him. Like, when I had my contractions, they gave me this drug inside my vein right here, which, it was amazing. It took away all my pain. So then when, okay, not to be really gross, but you dilate when you have a baby. And so when you're dilated to a 6, you're allowed to have an epidural, which you get poked in the back. So I got that, and it worked. I couldn't feel anything. Well, then I looked at my nurse, and I was like, okay, so I'm going to have this during delivery, right? And they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to turn it down just a tad bit so you can feel when to push. I was like, well, I don't want it turned down. Can't you tell me when to push? And they're like, no, we can't. It's like, okay, whatever, I don't care, I mean, if it's still turned up a little bit, I still won't be able to feel anything, because she said, you'll just feel tiny contractions, that's it, you won't feel anything else. It's like, okay, that's fine with me, whatever. So then it came down to time to push, and I'm not even kidding, they turned my epidural off. They did not turn it down, they did not ease it, they turned it off. I did not like that at all. If I wanted to have a natural childbirth, I would have said I want a natural childbirth. But I said I wanted no pain. I didn't want to feel anything. So after that, I've talked to other friends who have had children, and they talk about their epidural and how they laughed during the whole thing and they didn't feel nothing. And I cried. I cried like a big baby because I felt everything. And I'm telling you, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. That was the most gruesome experience I've ever felt in my entire life. The one thing I did like is, I don't know if they do this with at every hospital, but when I went to go check out, they did give me this thing. Let me make sure there's nothing important on here. Okay, so they did give me this thing, which says, welcome baby, and then they write my son's name, Jesse, and they write his arrival, Thursday, August 28, 2014, his weight, his length, and he was 5 pounds, 13 ounces, and he was 19 inches long. And then it says, congratulations from your care team at Allegiance Health Systems. And they wrote their name. Other than that, I mean, I guess that was my overall experience. They told me I could leave the next day, or maybe it was the same day. No, it was the next day because I went to sleep. But they let me leave the next day after he got done with his circumcision. They asked me, they're like, well, if your son is allowed to leave, do you want to leave? And I said, yeah, I do. And I don't know if it's like with all hospitals, but I know some of my friends' hospitals that they went to, their hospital staff actually took the baby to the nursery, so that way, you know, the new parents could have a night to sleep and recuperate. And Allegiance did not do that. That kind of sucked. And they kept coming in every hour telling us that even though our son was dead asleep, that we needed to wake him up to feed him. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so let's wake up a newborn infant, feed him, and then let him cry because he doesn't want to go back to sleep, but mommy and daddy do. I said, that makes no sense. And every one of our families even said, don't wake him up if he's sleeping. He's fine. He will let you, babies will let you know when they are hungry. They will. It's in their instincts. Just like when you and me, when we wake up because we're hungry, we let someone know. Well, when we were younger, we let someone know. Otherwise, we let ourselves know when we go downstairs or wherever our kitchen is and we get ourselves food. Another thing that I did not like is the lady that did our son's picture. This is my son's picture. Now, she did a whole bunch of pictures. She did some of me and my son and my husband. Okay, she chose to pick that one to send to us. Why not do a family one instead of one where he looks like he's about to start bawling? And as I was filling out my paperwork for that, you know, I'm still drugged up in a little bit because I still had the IV. I look at my husband for information because I was having a hard time recalling and asking him, well, do you want this? Do you want this? The photographer lady looked at me and she goes, it's none of his business. It's only yours. And I'm sitting there like, excuse me, that is my husband. It is all of his business just as much as it is my business. Don't tell me that my husband cannot help me. I do not like Allegiance. I would not recommend Allegiance for having a baby. I mean, that's my personal opinion. You might have your own. I know some people that have went to Allegiance and they were amazing to them. So I don't know what was the difference between me and my husband. This was my first child. It should have been something that was enjoyable. But at Allegiance, I was not able to enjoy it as much as I can say. I do have a healthy, beautiful little boy, and I will insert a clip here. So that was my son. He is adorable, he's healthy, he's active, he had 2 teeth come in by the time he was 4 months old, and he's almost 7 months old now. He'll be 7 months old on Sunday, and he's already got his 3rd tooth coming in. So all in all, I'm happy that my son is healthy. So I guess that's what I can take out of it. Okay guys, so this was my pregnancy experience video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any other questions about my pregnancy or my experience or anything else like that, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I will answer them in another video. Maybe I'll do a Q&A video, who knows, but I will answer them for you guys, I promise. If you liked this video and you thought it was very informative, thumbs it up, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay beautiful. Bye guys.